A lack of sleep can have a major impact in a variety of different ways in your life. It can result in everything from high blood pressure to hallucinations. In fact, I hallucinated once while working at the gas station, and it was pretty freaky. Mostly because it felt so real. When you start imagining people pulling up and getting out of their car, walking into your store, and then they all of a sudden just disappear, it's time to go to bed. But at any rate, sleep is going to affect just about every career path. But for a writer, it's doubly distressing. I'm Michael with WriterSanctuary, and today we're going to talk about how sleep plays a major role in freelance writing. Now, before we get started, you can hit the like button to help the channel out, and for more videos about freelance writing, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. But if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always hit me up on social media on Twitter and Facebook, or use the contact form on WriterSanctuary.com's website. Okay, so since 2012, I've come across a wide variety of problems when it comes to sleep, and it has contributed greatly to my success. Well, or lack thereof. Okay, so as a freelance writer, the most important organ in your body is your brain. Of course, you need your fingers to be able to type, but a lot of people find a bit of a success by doing voice to text, so I don't know if your fingers are even necessary anymore. Probably makes things a lot easier. But needless to say, your brain is the major organ that you need as a freelance writer. But when you have a lack of sleep, it can, number one, slow your processing time. A lack of sleep can affect your memory, your cognitive abilities, and make it far more difficult to stay focused. Short-term memory. I know there were times where I tried writing at night and I would read the instructions from a client like 3 or 4 times and I still couldn't grasp what they wanted. That's what a lack of sleep can do to you. In fact, according to sleepfoundation.org, multiple studies have linked poor sleep with long-term cognitive decline. This also affects things of short-term daytime cognitive impairment. That means even if you have one bad night of rest, the next day has a good chance of going straight to hell. In fact, if you do a little bit of research online, you can find that driving while tired often is akin to driving while drunk. A lot of the same impairments happen. The second thing that sleep will impact is it'll reduce your typing speed and accuracy. I've seen this quite a few times where I would slow down exponentially at night while I'm trying to write, and like most of the words would come out sluggish. Yeah, sure, nowadays you have tools like Grammarly, but they don't always work. Well, they don't always work right, I should say. You can still create errors. My point is that if you try to type while tired, it reduces your ability. The third thing that happens is that it's too difficult to stay on task. This kind of goes along the lines with being able to process information. When you're tired, you're not as focused, and it's really difficult to stay motivated and maintain a good work ethic. I know that when I'm tired, I am easily distracted. And we're talking way more than normal, which is saying something. The fourth thing that can happen from a lack of sleep is a higher revision rate from your clients. This is kind of a culmination of everything else that I just talked about. Not being able to understand instructions, not typing out the correct words, or spelling, grammatical errors. In fact, I found that when I was writing at night after working in the school district all day, I was far more likely to get revisions in TextBroker. And once I started sleeping at night and doing the work in the morning, I found that I'm way more efficient. And while writing in the mornings, I found that I have far fewer revision requests from not just content mails, but from private clients as well. I can tell you there's a few times where I send in work to a private client where it would have been extremely embarrassing for them to publish. Never forget the L in the word public. Something else that can affect you from a lack of sleep is irrational decision making. In fact, I'll link to a study in the description down below of how a lack of sleep impairs your ability to think rationally from a gambling perspective. I know the study focuses more on gambling, but in general, it's true. You're way more easier to fly off the handle. You are more likely to accept jobs that are way below your pay. You can find yourself quitting a good job from a minor incident. I know I've made a lot of poor decisions when I'm half asleep. And lastly, you'll make less money. Now, making less money is a grand total of everything that you can be affected by. That's because the more time you take to do a revision is less time that you're being productive on another job. Accepting a job for far less pay because you're too tired to really think it through, you're getting less money. If you can't understand the client's instructions on what they want, you're making less money. So what are a few ways to get more sleep at night? Now, this is a problem that I have myself where I don't sleep at night over a variety of different things. However, I have found a few things that work for me, and I have found a bit of success, but there's still quite a few things that keep me up. But anyway, the first way to get more sleep at night is get on a good routine. I've found that other nights that I actually sleep at 9:30 and wake up at 6, that I'm far more efficient, I'm ready to go, more energized, and I get far more done. It's because my body had plenty of time to get rest. Unfortunately, lately I've been only hitting about 4 to 5 hours a night, and as you can probably tell, I'm pretty tired. But that doesn't detract from the idea of setting up a good sleeping routine. The next thing you want to do is reduce your caffeine and stimulant intake at night. In fact, I found quite a bit of success once I stopped drinking coffee after 5 p.m. You can switch to like flavored water or non-caffeinated teas. But the less caffeine you have at night, the more likely you are going to be able to sleep on time. Number 3 is watch what you eat for dinner. When you overeat, your body can go through heartburn or indigestion, which means this is going to keep you up all night long. And this is a major problem for me, and I've been working on it and getting a little bit better. But the other night, I was up all night long because it felt like my stomach was on fire. So if you have logical portion sizes for dinner and don't gorge yourself on snacks, then there's a good chance you'll fall asleep and stay asleep. Number 4 is don't try to force yourself to stay awake. This is another major problem I have because I still have that 4-year-old mentality of I don't want to sleep because I don't want to miss anything. Which is awfully stupid because most of the time that I'm staying up, I'm watching YouTube, Netflix, or playing a game. All 3 of those things are going to be there in the next day. So I'm not really missing anything, especially when it comes to Netflix because I wind up watching shows that I've already seen like 9 times. Number 5 is try some Sleepy Time tea. I'm a big fan of Sleepy Time Echinacea Complete Care Tea from Celestial Seasonings. That's because one glass of this at about 9:30ish keeps me down the rest of the night. There was one time I tried 2 bags and I slept for like 10 hours. I woke up groggy as hell. Don't do 2 bags. But for me, the Complete Care Tea kept me asleep all night long and I felt so much better the next day. Just try not to drink it too late because it will keep you down, and if you have to get up at a certain time, you're going to wake up all kinds of groggy and not really feeling right. So I try to drink it about an hour before I go to bed. Number 6 is to relax and de-stress before you go to bed. Being able to relax and de-stress gives your mind a bit of time to unwind. This includes things like trying to stay away from a computer before going to bed, no TV, try to stay away from digital media. The idea is to give your brain enough time to wind down itself. So like soft, comforting music, read a book, just things that aren't stimulating. Watching YouTube and Netflix and playing video games is stimulating. And number 7 is get yourself a comfortable bed. Now this is one that I am having a major issue with, only because my bed is a brick with a sheet over it. It's uncomfortable as hell, and if I don't have a glass of tea, if I don't go to bed like way early, I don't get enough sleep. That's on my list of things I need to buy in the near future. But comfortability is a major role in a lot of different things, especially for a freelance writer. I wrote an article about finding comfortable chairs and how it impacts you when you're sitting there writing all day long. In fact, I had a Walmart special chair. It was crappy, it hurt, and I found that once I started buying more expensive comfortable chairs that my pay per hour actually increased by almost twice. That's because I wasn't fighting my own fatigue and not stressed out about how bad I hurt. But anyway, comfort is key if you want to get some sleep. So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more videos about freelance writing, WordPress, text broker, or anything else I cover, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. I think it's going to do it for me today. I'll see you on Monday.